having 500 people in a room who are talking about how we can use our resources and our strengths and our talents to improve the quality of life in our communities and clear across the state and in the Great Plains is just totally exciting to me. The opportunities are endless for people.
I think it shows that the university and the Ag Institute hit a really important chord.
We have a university here that is thinking so innovatively and so constructively about its role in fostering rural communities here.
And they've taken the first step by promoting and supporting collaboration across campuses, but not only that, across disciplines.
It's a great start. It's a great way to recognize we really do need each other to survive and thrive.
What I've gotten the most so far is just the conversation, that we're having this kind of a conversation on a very elevated level, and the diversity of the people in the room.
I like to see all the interaction at the tables with people who other people don't know. That's going to create more ideas and more partnerships and more collaboration going forward.
Rural places have a tremendous amount of opportunity. We also need ideas. There are a lot of really smart people in rural places, and I think if we take academia, the business community, policymakers, and local developers, we bring them together.
Well, what do you do with this group of people? I mean, just bringing people together doesn't necessarily accomplish anything. And so the reason why I think I was invited to this conference was that if you want to have a chance of breaking new ground, of developing, you actually have to connect all of these different institutions, organizations, communities, and groups, and in those connections, create new ideas that you pursue.
I think this conference is an opportunity to revisit a really important part of the American dream. Somewhere Thomas Jefferson's smiling because this is exactly what he hoped would happen, is that on a continual basis we'd reimagine our democracy and we'd reimagine what our landscapes and our communities and our life should be like.
I think there's three things that are most exciting about where we are. First is university leadership for a new future for rural. That has not been as evident in the past as it is today. Secondly, we're in a new moment where, with the federal government changing, the future of innovation and entrepreneurship is going to be key for the future of rural communities. And thirdly, we're beginning to realize that youth are critical to both of those things occurring well. And this institute, I think, is going to be about all those things.
This is what we want to do. Now let's kind of give you the background information, and then let's let you be a part of the change. Let's let you be a part of the structure. You know, what are your thoughts as to what needs to be done?
The solution to economic development in rural Nebraska has to be a new vision of what it should be like out there. It can't be the old vision that this is basically about agriculture. It has to be about tourism. It has to be about making the environment interesting for young people who'd want to go out there and raise families and have a career. So I think it's very complicated, but I think the only way it's going to be solved is if a whole bunch of different disciplines and areas work together.
I hope the Rural Futures Conference and the institute that follows is a way for the university to really make a meaningful connection in rural communities, and so that those borders, the borders that surround the university, become more porous. And it's more about an exchange and a partnership and relationships between particular people in small communities across the state and particular people in the university who are matching up their desires, their hopes, their interests, and making those communities a better place.
It's time to step it up. It's time to cooperate. It's time to not say this is mine and that's yours and I'm going to get as much as I can. It's time to cooperate. That's what we have in this room. I'm sure that's what we have in this room.
The best way to predict the future is to invent it. And I think that's really what the Rural Futures Institute is all about, is inventing the future.
I think we're at the place in time in history where we have to make choices.
I think we're on the cusp of tremendous change and tremendous opportunity.
And we have to make choices about what we are and who we are and how we're going to be as a community and a landscape and an economy. And I think what this conference does is gives us the opportunity and, if you will, the permission to have that really meaningful conversation and to not just live in the future, but to create it.
It's an important time for this to happen because we have, I think the beginning of the conference, when we saw, for me emotionally, was seeing that picture of who my parents on the farm, aging, sitting out in the field. It could have been them. And we're going to lose that wisdom, and we're going to lose that connectedness with that generation. And so I feel like right now we're on the cutting edge of let's not lose what we could gain from sharing. And there's a lot of young people who are saying, look, we want the world to be, we want to feed the world, we want to provide the need, but we've got to figure out how to connect better in doing that. And so I guess that now question is, it has to be now.
An expression that I use frequently is, when's the best time to plant a tree? And the answer is 20 years ago. So I always come back to when's the second best time to plant a tree, and it's today. I think the timing's great.
We could sit back and perhaps not grasp that opportunity and let the change overwhelm us. I think we're in a position right now where we have that opportunity to direct and regulate the change. That comes in part from technology. It comes in part from the common enthusiasm of people across the state, and it certainly comes as a consequence of our need to be a part of the global community.
It's reaffirming to me a number of things that we know about what makes vital rural communities, but we're also really challenging ourselves around innovation, creativity, doing things differently as well.
We have the best chance of developing groundbreaking ideas when we combine ideas from different industries or fields or cultures, when we step into the intersection of these different fields and cultures. So that's on the one hand. And on the other, how you make those ideas happen. And it's different from making those types of ideas, innovative ideas happen, from more standard ones, those that you sort of have done before. And that difference is key.
New areas of prosperity, new opportunities aren't going to just come out of what we've historically done. We're going to have to do some new stuff. We're going to have to do some things that we haven't tried. Maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. We're going to need to be forgiving about things that don't work. We're going to need to figure out what are the lessons learned and how can we apply them to the next experiment. But the more we can trust one another and really try to work together to build a new future, I'm really optimistic that we can.
If you want to have the best quality of life, if you want to have the best job, if you want the best opportunities for the education of your children, go to rural Nebraska and go to rural America.
Maybe we need to be more people-focused. And if we have people who feel like they have opportunities in rural Nebraska to kind of loosen up the leash a little bit and tell them to go for it and see where do they go. So I think I'm going to take from this being much more people-oriented rather than job-oriented.
It's not just about creating jobs. It's about having the people themselves create their job that fits them.
Really, one of the ways we can do that is to help evolve the leadership capacity of people. So really helping people develop their inner leader, but also helping those people lead others and in a way that really supports innovation and building an entrepreneurial culture.
I have no doubt that people will generate great ideas and there'll be some wonderful things. The thing that I'm interested in is seeing how we're going to apply those things and how we're going to make those things actually come to be rather than just, this is a great idea, how do we now apply this and make it real world examples.
The key aspect of innovation that I think we need to continue discussing is how we implement it. How do we get it happening on the ground?
I think the outcome of the Rural Futures Conference would be that we develop some sort of a plan to develop rural America and rural Nebraska so that we have sort of a support system going and we can work off of each other's strengths.
Is that people actually depend on each other for survival.
One word to describe the conference: mind-bending.
Energetic.
I think network enhancing.
Unbelievable.
Potential.
Energetic.
Invigorating.
Hopeful and collaborative. That's 2 words, I guess.
I'd say it's beyond our expectations.
Fantastic. I guess I'll go with fantastic.
Ingenious.
Creative.
I would say intersectoral.
I've said this a lot, but enlightening. Very enlightening.
Hopeful.
Passionate.
Eclectic.
with the question mark on the end.
Innovation.
Visionary.
Anticipatory.
Hopeful. I guess I'll go with hopeful.
Transformational.
Innovative.
Exciting. Energy. Lots of great energy.
If I could use one word, it would be connections.
People really do need to turn their dream switches on to think about what's possible.
My big dream for rural America is that it's not thought about as an afterthought with respect to the global economy, but that it is given its credence.
This is a big education project because there are so many people in urban areas across this country, and I can say this because I come from one, who don't have any idea what's going on out here. And it's absolutely crucial. It's critical for the future of the United States.
My background, my culture, my roots are agrarian, and my ancestors homesteaded, and I feel deeply proud of being in a position in my life to be able to pass forward some of what my ancestors started. And that's my hope for rural communities, is that they're able to pass forward the best of small town life and small community life, because I think that there are elements of rural community life that you can't get anywhere else.
My big dream for rural America is to help communities see their potential and to help them realize that they've got the opportunities and the resources to do what they want to do and be who they want to be.
To create communities whereby people have a significant opportunity to make a lasting impact on the lives of others, which I think urban cannot necessarily always provide.
The big dream for rural America is that urban America learns how critical its future is tied to the people that call rural America home.
To create careers for our young people to be able to live in rural America.
My biggest hope is that some of the misinformation about rural areas is changed.
My big dream is dispel the myths about rural America, rural Kansas, Nebraska, you know.
My big dream is that people that live in rural America have pride to say, I live in rural America.
I would love to see it repopulated. I would love to see new young families moving into our rural communities and enjoying it.
My big dream for rural America is that rural America will be just as connected, just as vibrant, just as exciting a place to live in as urban America. And I think it's possible. There's certainly a lot more at our fingertips today in terms of technology that makes that not just a dream, but a clear, possible reality.
It was rural that built Nebraska. It was rural that built our nation. And we are, and I think continue to be that backbone. We just need to shore that backbone up a little bit and give people that feeling of hope and recognizing we have so much to offer.
You know, tell people what we're doing and tell our story, especially in Extension, because we are out there in those rural communities.
My big dream for rural America would be to keep an open mind and to not stay within the black and white, to really listen to all different ideas and opinions and be open to different insights from people that you don't necessarily agree with on every single topic, but that you can learn from in the big picture.
As a person who has a passion for humanity, for us being able to transcend some of the things that fragment and cause us to be out of fellowship, really rob us from the opportunity to love one another and connect with one another. And it's a big challenge, but I like big challenges, I like big ideas.
If anybody is going to be experts in rural America, it ought to be Nebraska.
My big dream for rural America is that anyone who wants to live in rural America can come to rural America, have a career that they love, raise their family here, and really create their own destiny within the kind of supportive and nurturing community that rural America provides.
When I was walking by and they said, hey, you want to do a video clip? And I said, sure.
What do I do? What do I talk about? What am I saying?
I wasn't prepared for this.
So what do I say?
Disciplinarian, collaboration, networking, functionality, future design, yada, yada, yada.
How long is this going to be?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, oh, nice. Sweet, thanks.
What was the second question?
What, is it just?
Got my good side?
Okay.
I know you can edit this, though.
I could do the weather.
So I'm having a conversation with you.
University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
And can I throw my hands in my pocket? Do I look like an idiot?
You're gonna do this on my feet, right? You're gonna video my feet? Perfect.
Wow, that is a good one.
Who am I with?
And how long have you been together?
Oh, famous last words.
I'm like, I'm not with anybody. I'm all by myself. Does that mean I get thrown out?
Okay.
So make sure that I finish, don't just fade out. Yeah, right.
I told you I'm a blooper person.